Good evening, ladies, gentlefers, and my lovely NBs. We are here live at Bangor, Maine, here at Shaw Stake Stadium, where the Bangor Tides are going up against the Lorraine Firestorm. My name is Marcus Baylor, and to my right is Ryan Eastman. How are you doing, dude?
Doing excellent, Marcus. Getting ready for this final regular season sports den, a potential playoff preview between these two teams. Both teams have locked
Oh,
themselves into the playoffs, and now it's just a question of where they fall seeding wise.
Yep, both teams really going all in this season as they all preparing for these playoffs. It's going to be interesting to see how both of these teams do, but this is a great preview to see how these players are going to be going as these two teams are actually going to be aiming to try and get to the FBA finals.
Yes, I think the players are ready to take the court. Let's cut down live.
That is the case as we're going to go ahead and get things tipped off as the Tides ends up picking it.
And the Tides looking to
Now,
make it back to a playoff finals for the first time. I mean, obviously, recently they won the championship just a couple seasons ago. They want to continue riding and establish a dynasty.
yeah, that's going to be the case as they have been able to bring everybody back. The synergy is really good, and they are aiming for chips as we get a quick deflection there as McDonald Rainbow goes for three, and it's good.
Yeah, quick three from the corner. And meanwhile, you look on the Lorraine side, you've got arguably, in terms of experience, I mean, everyone questioning, is Bethany going to be sticking around? I know she spent a number of years out of the FBA before returning, but, you know, her draft class was 20 years ago.
Oh yeah, one of the longest tenured FBA players by far, and I can understand this being a possible swan song coming off the bench. Is right now Bangor up to a pretty decent start, up by 5.
I mean, how often can you
And
say your kid is also in the same league as you? I mean,
oh, I don't think it's really ever happened. Have you ever had like a parent and a child playing in the same league, or it's possibly the same team? You never know, but we do
yeah,
get a quick foul here as the Tides get a chance to go on the line for two.
yeah. I mean, you think about it, and you pretty much have to have had your kid pretty young to have a chance. I mean, 18 is the minimum age required to be eligible for the draft. So, you know, not many FBA players stick around to their 40s. Not common. I mean, bench roles potentially. There's just the challenge of every year you're faced with 8 new faces plus some uh, undrafted players. You know, you have to somehow maintain your talent level higher than what they bring in year after year to stick around.
And here comes Tumble with a three, and it's not going to be good this time as Oakley does get the rebound. And you are correct on that point. I mean, we have a lot of long tenured players here for Lorraine, not only Bethany, but also Edwin as well, as this is possibly his swan song too within the Firestorm. Miss
Uh,
there from the Tides. Get a quick rebound from Tompo. Edwin being able to clean it up, but speaking of.
I mean, you look at the Tide side. I mean, they have definitely the experience. It's more of their peak of their career. You know, you talk about Ash and AMR being in their 6th and 7th years, respectively. Is a long three from Bangor there. I think it was AMR who did that. Even
Yeah,
Naomi.
great.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead,
I was
Marcus.
going to say, I was going to say a great, excellent three ball. And yeah, the Tides have really been a unit for the past 3 or 4 years. We had the same core starting five for the longest time. And even with Angel stepping in and embracing her role, returning for her third year.
Yeah, but you have to wonder in terms of cost efficiency. You have King going into free agency and uh, Matthew. But I mean, honestly, 8 million between them. They're more than likely going to be utilizing their draft picks or potentially selling them if they really feel like this core is what they want. They could sell their draft picks in order to try and build cap for next season, bring them back. Definitely gonna be a tight balancing act of that cap situation. Obviously, uh, championship tax is a thing.
Yeah, for sure. And Tonpo again going for three. Not going to hit it this time as Kiyomi gets the rebound.
And looking
And
at
right
both
now,
seeds, teams, you gotta keep an eye on the rookies. Lorraine only with one rookie. Their
woo!
horse, it's pulling away a little bit. 5 points now. And obviously, over on the Bangor side, they have a few more rookies that kind of use to flush out their roster. Main one I saw at the Rookie All Star game was Koa Cross.
Yeah, and that's really been the name of the game. I mean, Lorraine trying to find a little bit of youth on their team because they have been aging quite a bit, but especially with some of the major trades that they've done. Again, with Xavier Clark not playing tonight, coming in from the Swashbucklers after a short stint there for a half a year, coming into the trade deadline. So it's interesting to see how well this team is going to mesh come playoff time because obviously, um, you know, experience does matter and, skill too, but also being able to be a unit and trying to find a way to work together and knowing everybody's quirks within the team.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of the reason trying to let Clark is a big addition, and I do feel like the Blazowski being drafted is a sign perhaps that they were preparing for Griga maybe to leave, as we see a great block there from the Lorraine defense. Chance to tie it up here off the glass. Wow, 15 points
Ooh,
now for both teams.
yep, we're all tied up, and right now the Five Star having a little bit more opportunities to get to the basket compared to the Tides, but both teams shooting very well in the early going as we're getting close to that halfway mark with 15 apiece. Starting to slow things down a little bit for Bangor, which is really more of their MO, being more of the bully ball type team.
Yeah, I mean, when you have someone Angel size down the post, I mean, they arguably, this team's literally size wise almost a perfect matchup. Their centers are both right at 7 feet. They have a slightly undersized power forward at 6'9".
Ooh, and Edwin
Nice.
Grainer showing a little bit of range there with the mid ranger.
I mean, it's the name of the game, keeping in tie. And I mean, the Lorraine Firestorm are still battling for that division title. They're looking to fight off against the Pittsburgh Keystones, who have been a bit of a dark horse. Last year they snuck into the playoffs, and this year they've definitely come in strong. Past couple seasons it's been the question of Baltimore or Lorraine, and this season it's been the question of Lorraine or Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean Lorraine Pittsburgh has really been showing a lot of upgrades. We get a illegal screen there from Oakley, so that'll be his first personal as we're going to start getting into substitutions now, it looks like.
Yeah, 6 minutes
And
into the first quarter, you've got to start resting. I mean, that is, I think, the one knock against Angel is, what is her stamina like over the course of the game? She's 7'1", almost 300 pounds. Definitely a big body that being forced to run up and down the court is difficult, but
ooh,
no, they're keeping her in for now, and she's able to lay it up and in down low in the post.
yep, Angel, great. A nice dish there into Angel to get those quick points to tie it back up 19 apiece. As we are seeing a couple of the bench players on both sides getting a chance to tap in as Edwin going for a tough basket there. Say he can still do it at any age.
Well, I mean, you got to remember, he also took a few seasons off after his rookie contract, or I think it was after his first. I can't remember exactly how far into his rookie contract he was, but he took it off and came back. So yes, he's a 10-year veteran, quote unquote, but he is a little bit fresher than that.
Yep, and right now they have been feeding the goose into the paint now, and that's really been kind of the main issue here for Bangor is they're now finding themselves down by 4. We'll see what the game plan is. They dish it over to AMR. AMR getting blocked there. So right now, Lorraine in control so far here in Bangor. And we see another dish for Grega and able to lay it up and in. He has been the main person to be scoring here as they already have 14 points and has not missed a single shot yet. And they are going to call timeout to see what they can do to try and clean things up here.
Yeah, Griga being the main scorer is not what I expected here tonight. He always been a I don't want to call it a new age because I mean a decade ago you obviously had my tongue, but the stretch big was becoming more of a thing, and Griga was of that new build style. It's definitely a lot more common nowadays. Every team having a so that's where Griga has made his bread and butter. But showing here tonight he can get it done from even the post.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how Bangor tries to adjust. It's a nice three there from AMR. Remember, he can easily take over a game at any moment, so we got to keep an eye out on that. And right now, Edwin bringing it up. Instead, hands it over to Radley, who goes for three, but it's not going to be good.
Well, and keep in mind, AMR was originally on the Firestorm, I believe, and signed with Bangor many years ago after their rookie contract to eventually become Lance Wildfire's successor.
Yeah, and so far, they have really kind of done very well as they did win a chip with AMR and get a nice dish there from Edwin, showing that range that he has as his first three goes down tonight.
Yeah, I would say winning a ring is a positive sign of success.
For sure. And now we're seeing AMR doing it again. And remember what I said about him taking over? We might be seeing it right now.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing with Bangor. I do kind of question how strong their post play is. Obviously, Oakley I think walked away with the Finals MVP the year they won. Their 3-game has been a bit hit or miss. Obviously, Ash, very strong defender as well, but can get it done from beyond the arc. Is Sean not hitting that three wide open?
Yeah, the three ball is not really Trishon's game. As right now, AMR doing what he does best is now Bangor finds themselves up by 2 after being down a little bit within the first quarter. So we'll see how Lorraine responds here as they are trying to play around along the perimeter.
I mean, it's been a great scoring effort from both teams no matter what, as we'll see a trip to the line. Foul situation, not an issue on either side, honestly.
No, not really. It's been a lot of clean basketball as Jew making the first one. And Jew coming from Alaska, another playoff team. And Lorraine was very, very active trying to see what they could do to try and elevate into that conversation of being a representative of the East, as Jew does make both.
Yeah, and I had some questions on that thought. The team that they were trying to commit hard as AMR elevates. We saw them in the dunk contest, and they still want to show off a little bit here.
Yeah, great dunk there, and as you were saying, yeah, I do think that like when teams make such a massive change up like this, it's a bit of a risk because yes, when it comes to on paper discussions, you can definitely say that yeah, they've elevated, but again, it has to be the conversation of how will they mesh together at a short amount of time when we get into that next level of playoff. And speaking of, Davenport able to get the steal, we'll go ahead and get the nice teardrop to finish it off.
She's able to take it herself after the steal. That's a good point. I mean, at this level of the game, a fraction of a second of hesitation because you're not sure exactly what your teammate's going to be doing can be the difference maker. So it is very important that these players quickly develop that familiarity with one another that you sacrifice when you go for big trades during.
Yeah, and now Jew, with a few seconds left, will have to go for a final shot for a heave, and it's not going to be good. So Lorraine find themselves up by 135 to 34 to finish off the first quarter. What a very hard stop for both teams.
Yeah, scoring has not been an issue on either side. I mean, obviously the three ball I feel has been a bit stronger from Bangor, So let's see if that continues to be the case as we roll through these quarters. Lorraine, they're not the greatest 3-point shooters. Obviously, Coyote and uh, Davenport, Tompo can get it done. Definitely, Coyote can hit. But, they're not going to be 3-point contest champion, blow you out of the water with their performances.
No, not at all. And that's going to be the interesting case here, as like both teams aren't really the known for their 3-point ball too much, and like this is basically like, two juggernauts that love relying on the paint quite a bit.
Well, I'd say Bangor's
And
been more of a defensive team. I mean, you can't discount Ash.
yeah,
His defensive effort. I mean, he led in steals. I think he has the FBA
oh,
season. Ooh, great play down low. I mean, how often
yeah,
do you say a non-big win Defensive Player of the Year?
not often really. It's certainly rare when it comes to an accolade like that. They usually say it's pretty common for a big for it to be able to win that kind of chip. As Davenport trying to go for a quick shot, but it's not going to be good here. And Lucas not able to get it down either. So the Tides have a chance to extend this even more. We'll see what happens here. As Kataguri able to lay it up and in.
Category coming off the bench. And I've talked about having that it's not necessarily yin and yang, but having someone who's able to be a more agile big to complement a bruising big, and that is what Category is. When they need Angel to rest or they need a different matchup, Category is the one who comes in.
Yeah, we got a nice block from Oriana, as again the Tides doing whatever they can to be able to extend that, as Naima able to lay it up and in.
I mean, you talk about experience level. I mean, Lowenthal has the most playoff experience from any of these teams, any of these players. Best has appeared in the finals with Montana, with BLV, and looks to help Bangor make it back as well. They got the monkey off their back by winning a ring in Biloxi, at least.
Yeah, 100%, and we get a nice old school 3-point play there from Maria, and the Tides up by 4. We're going to continue to make that magic into the paint, and they will do just that, as again Felicia really being the facilitator into the paint, and Maria trying to do the same thing as well, as she lays it up and in. Great dish there.
And timeout there from the Tides. I mean, you could feel like the momentum was starting to swing in Bangor's favor, but Lorraine answering immediately, not willing to let them pull away. And I think we're on track for, a 140-point game at the rate we're going.
Yeah, no, both teams have not really let up by any sense of the imagination. You got to imagine that the defense will be coming up at some point, as both teams doing very, very well to find whatever openings they can to get things moving, as we do see Kiyomi looking for some kind of answers, but instead dishes out back to Category. And now Ash Van Zant be able to go ahead and rattle home.
Yeah, come on, Bangor. I was praising your defense. I mean, I know technically in terms of the best defenders in the league, points per game wise, Queens and Oregon and Seattle leading that way. Bangor is definitely a top 10 defense, along with Lorraine, both averaging about giving up 120 points a game. But still, where's that defense, guys? I was praising you, and it's been a runaway train.
I'm sure we'll be able to see it eventually, because we know how this game usually goes. It's a game of runs, and sometimes there are going to be moments where you do get cold at points, especially when playing 48 minutes of basketball. But that's not going to be the case here. We get a quick basket there. Right now, the Tides up by 5. Looking to try to extend it again, and AVZ making that 3.
Ash getting it going from beyond the arc now. I mean, that's another problem they have to deal with that they have AMR and Ash getting
Ooh!
going. And oh, big dunk there.
Yep, huge dunk again. And right now it's been very interesting how this game has gone. Both teams trying to utilize the the paint as much as possible here. Another block there by Maria. Now we're starting to see a little bit of defense here. Whereas Radley takes it over to Ju, and Ju slams it down.
J1 getting a huge dunk there in transition. Ooh, defense is showing up for Lorraine suddenly. Bangor, how are you going to answer this?
Yeah, now with things starting to go Lorraine's way, as Shawan does draw the foul, not able to get the basket though, but that will be AVZ's first personal, which I will say is a little surprising considering how you know, how rough he can get when it comes to the defense. And
Passionate's the word we're looking for. But the team's
yeah,
been playing well. Okay, but here's the thing: the game's been going well for them for the most part, so it's not like he's had much to really be angry about. I mean, yes, Lorraine's staying in stride, but the offense is flowing well for Bangor. But they don't want to play this game of runaway score because, like you said, all it takes is a cold spell for the one team to pull away. But thanks to that second chance opportunity, have one more chance to get a basket from it.
Yep. As Koa looking to find something, as there's a lot of time left, but Koa will be able to find a way to get by his defender to lay it up and in.
Boonville finding the lane that they needed to the basket there. And I mean, that was a little risky for the rookie to go with an ISO play. Shot clock was going to start becoming an issue at some point because it only reset to 14. But oh, there you go, Ash, your second foul. I mean, now you just jinxed him.
Yeah. Okay. And you can already tell that he's getting a little bit peeved right now.
He's upset. I mean, I'd be upset too about that foul.
Yeah, but the first one does not go down for Shawan. Shawan's not, even though he is getting to the line, he's not able to make these baskets, but he will make the second. I believe he's now 2 for 4 behind the charity stripe.
Are you volunteering to invite him to your basketball camp, Marcus?
No, I think I'm good. I don't. Like I said, I'm good with staying up in the booth, not having to be any coaching. I'll leave that to Bobby. But a quick miss there from Lorraine as Kevin dishes it over to Kyler Anali. Excuse me, Kiyomi Inari. Quick pass there. Really good dish. It's Bangor still trying to keep a decent distance as they're up by 6. Right now, Ju has something to say about it. Is able to find a lane to lay it up and in. Look,
I just do not want the situation where Kyler and Yomi end up on the same team. Please. It'll be tongue twisters for days.
Something.
It was bad enough when we had the twins on the same team at one point.
Oh gosh, don't remind me. In any case, we do have Bangor be able to get a stop from the other end, trying to get that lead back to 6 or possibly 7. As we get a quick mid-ranger, and it's good. AMR already 26 points. And we are not even finished with the first half. He has been on a roll tonight. And we get a nice block there from AMR as well.
He has been the hot pawn. They're playing through him. And you have to imagine that Lorraine's going to have something to say at halftime to make some kind of adjustment to stop him. Because if they can shut him down, that's over half their scoring pretty much coming through one bird's wings.
Yeah, but right now, Kevin Oakley, the big bear, trying to force his way into the paint, and will do just that. And look at that, they do find themselves to possibly take a double-digit lead if they get a stop here. We'll see what Lorraine had to say about it with Rashawn having the rock. And we get a quick dish there for Mora for the 20-footer, but it's not going to be good. And so, Kiyomi passed it back to category. So a lot of passing so far as AMR, the star tonight for the Tides, looking for a step back 3, but it's not going to be good.
Yeah, that's a little too forcing. I know they're feeling it right now, but you still have to walk away with good possessions. You know, it's only an 8-point game. If you're up by 20, okay, I'll give you like just take a heat. But
Yeah,
this
and
is still a
ooh,
recoverable game. And ooh, good block, fast play at the court category. The ball didn't even touch the floor with all the passing.
yeah, and that's kind of the danger zone when you have defensive stops like that, and the Tide really knowing how to transition into into a fast break points. And now they do find themselves up by 10. And now Ju able to go ahead and get the finger roll to get it back within single digits.
Yeah, but you have to feel the momentum's finally shifted to the Tides here, and they're gonna try and ride this through the rest of the half. I mean, they only have 3 minutes left. AMR, ooh, trying to hit the three with the
Ooh.
defense coming flying in. They're starting to close up on him on the perimeter.
Yeah, I mean, they need to in order to find a way to get him to stop doing what he's doing. And Edwin, once again, finding himself back on the board. He's already got 19 himself.
Well,
And we had a good block there for
I need to see
Lorraine.
someone from Lorraine besides Edwin step up, though, is the question. I mean, I want to see how many points Edwin has at the half. I'm sure it's close to 18, that kind of range, but Shay one dishing or dancing in the post basically around the defense.
Yeah, you're asking somebody to step up. And I have to say that Shay Wan has been making quite a bit of noise here into the paint as he's been able to not only draw in fouls against a couple of starters here and there, but also being able to lay it up and in a few times as well. As, of course, as we were trying to give a little bit of praise, the Tide shutting that down real quick with a three.
Yeah, I mean, that's something the problem with the Tides. They're coming in hot from the arc, and that is just and one opportunity. Ash up to 3 now. I mean,
Mm.
he's this is the end of the second quarter. 3 fouls is kind of like the limit, but it's still not the end of the world. They got 4 in this quarter, then I would be concerned.
Yeah, I think that's going to be something to look out for, especially he has not been doing very well against Shay Wan. We get a quick midi, but it's not going to be good this time. More with the rebound. But we'll see if they're going to go and continue to attack there as Anika. We haven't said her name too much as Mora is able to go ahead and get some points into the paint. And as you can see, both field goal percentages for both teams have just been insane.
Well, the
Tied
Tides are at least
63%.
reasonable. The Tides are the only ones that I find unreasonable. They're over 60% mark.
Yeah, and right now the scoreboard is showing otherwise, and the Firestorm really doing their best to try and stay into this as they're finding themselves down by 6. Not a lot of time left on the shot clock though. They gotta do something with it. Campo getting locked down on defense, and it's not gonna be good there.
Oh,
So the Tide doing very good once again to make sure that they stay at a distance.
well, keep in mind also the Tides have been shooting quite a few threes, so that field goal percentage is even more deceptive because you would expect it to be slightly lower the 3-point game that they've been having tonight. It's just been Lorraine benefiting from those turnovers and second chance opportunities.
Not a lot of time left for the second half as Edwin finds himself into the paint. He will go ahead and get that final shot in before we close it. And so with that, the Tides find themselves up by 4, 66-62.
Yeah, and I mean, this game is closer than it feels it should be. With how AMR's been playing tonight, I would have expected this to have been like a 15-point game at this point, but to finish the half only down by 4, both teams above 60. We are on track to break 100 before the end of the third quarter at the rate we're going.
Oh, 100%. And that's kind of been the most exciting thing about playoff matchups like this, because you never really know what you would expect when we get into it. As yeah, both sides doing very well. Obviously, AMR really the star of the show with 29 points, but Edwin not too far off with 21 himself.
See, now that draws the question. This is a possible playoff matchup. Both teams have already locked in their playoff attendance, at least, with their records. Obviously, seeding is still up in the air, even though it looks like we're getting closer to having locked in at least the very top of the it. The question is, though, Marcus, do you hold back on some plays? You go into this game willing to lose by not showing your best because you want to save your best for a potential matchup in the playoff?
That's honestly a really good question because that's kind of been the big question mark when we get into things like this. I would say that it really depends on your sittings and how much at risk of or how who do you really want to play within these series. Now obviously as we get closer and closer, we'll have an idea of who's going to be playing who into these playoffs. So it goes into what would you expect to come into when it comes to certain plays like that as we go ahead and get into the Lorraine score points. As I said, Jew coming over behind Shawan, doing his what he can um off the bench with 14.
And I mean, I think you can hold too much back and then find yourself in a worse situation. Obviously, I think Lorraine, the question is, are they going to be division champions or are they going to see Pittsburgh manage to steal it away from them? And obviously, if they're division champs, they're not going to have to worry about matching up against Tallahassee or Plymouth in the first round. Whereas for Bangor, they're pretty much guaranteed at best they could get a 4th seed, and that would only be because they've already pretty much been locked out of their division opportunity. Taproots have locked that in already.
Yep, and right now Tonpo able to go ahead and cut this down to 1 as we start the second half. Going in swinging. So right now the Fire's turn, trying to see if they can get momentum over to their side as they have found themselves to cut the lead down to 1 now.
I mean, and to your point, they were down by 10 at one point in that second quarter and managed to pull it back. And I think that just shows Bangor that, hey, even a 10-point lead is enough. We need to actually have a significant margin and then play smart with whatever we have, because Lorraine can go on those streaks. I mean, you saw their field goal percentage is quite good. Bangor might be a step above, but Lorraine has been
Oh
playing
my
gritty
gosh.
ball, and that's just what I'm talking about.
Yes. This is the type of games that you really don't want to play with Bangor, as Oakley just going ham with that block. Of course, it will still be Lorraine, but they don't have a lot of time on the shot clock. Only 4.5. So they got to do something with it. Trashawn having to go for a desperation 3, and it's not going to be good. That's great defense there from the Tides.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're
And
not planning to go for a block out of bounds to limit the time they have, but it just worked out that way. And like you said, no time to really drop a play, and where it went out of bounds was not any help. It needed to be under the basket for them to get a quick shot attempt. It wasn't just a free desperation. And Dan, fast break, losing it, battle for the ball, and blocked.
Oh my goodness. So right now, Edwin still showing that he still got it in his age.
Well, I mean, Ash had so long, he was trying to get the ball back. He was playing handsy, trying to hold that ball, and he just did not have a clean shot to take.
Yeah, right now, AMR trying to continue that onslaught, but this time it's not going to be good. Davenport with the rebound. And Edwin finds himself into the paint again, and it will roll in.
Edwin trying to roll back the years. I mean, I want to know. I don't know what his career high is. I'm sure it's in the 30s, maybe the 40. I don't know if he's hit a 40 bomb yet, but might be trying to here tonight.
I mean, that'd be a crazy way to go out. And, ooh, what a great block there from Kevin Oakley.
And Kevin's showing up on the defense now. I mean, that is a big help for Bangor at this moment.
Yeah, and that's something that we don't really talk a lot about when it comes to Kevin. Like, we talk about his athleticism, how he's able to go ahead and use his speed and agility to get to the basket. He's still he's still a bear at the end of the day, and his defense is going to be on lock as Maria. Not able to get it down, though, but will be rebounded. So Maria will have a second chance, and it will go down to tie it up.
Now, keep in mind, back-to-back all-star. You know, he came to Bangor and has established himself on this roster after he left Tallahassee and after his rookie deal.
Yeah, and now AMR is able to get by to a couple of defenders, but gets rejected there. Ooh, that was a great effort there
Yeah, you see the help come over, and honestly, AMR may have been a little too tunnel vision on getting the basket because normally he has the court awareness to see that corner player left open by the help defense. Could have dished it out to the perimeter, but I think, like I said, tonight he's been so focused on getting the points, he might be losing track of where people are on the court exactly.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of been the big thing when a player does get hot in a game like this. Obviously, the focus is going to be on them. So it's going to be the answer of who else is going to step up if they are able to successfully shut them down. As again, an empty possession there for the Tides, and Carnell wide open for three, and it is going to go down this time.
Yeah, transitionally, the shooting guards are taught to go to the corners, and that either opens up for a three or it opens up a lane to the basket, and Oakley will be fouled by Riga on the way up with the dunk. We'll hand to the line for an and one to answer back and to tie it up potentially here once again.
And that will be the case with the old school three-point play coming down, and we're all tied up 73 apiece as Mora laying it up, and it's good.
This has been a back and forth game, no doubt, and I feel like Bangor is starting to show a little bit of mortality. I think their field goal percentage has started to dip down slightly.
Yeah, and we'll see that to the benefit as AMR, again, no good here as Mora gets the rebound. And Edwin trying to lay it up, but gets rejected.
Stays with them,
Oakley.
though.
Oakley with his... Yeah, it stays with him, but Oakley, his third block of the night, doing a lot of things here defensively for the Tides. And so far, this is going to be interesting how things are going to lay up. A lot more time, though, with 16 left on the shot clock. So they could have some kind of game plan going as Trishan has it. Ends up on with Tumpo's pause. Going in for the long two, but it's no good.
Yeah, the screen design was good there to get him open, just not convert.
And right now, we're trying to see the offense going in here for Kevin, but it's not going to be good there. And now Anika trying to score here, but gets fouled there by Kiyomi.
Well, you know what? Someone who hasn't been fouling this quarter, Ash Van Zandt.
Yeah, no. So far, he has played very cleanly.
I mean, 3 fouls in the second quarter alone was a little concerning. I was worried he might have, like I said, been getting in his own head a little bit there at the end, but seems like nothing to worry about at the moment. Had a chance to cool off at halftime.
Yeah, but right now Lorraine is up by 4, so you can imagine that AVZ could possibly look into being more aggressive, but instead has it over to AMR, and AMR has started to get cold tonight.
Was it him being cold, or is the defense
quarter
just finally committed to stopping him?
That as well. I mean, when you're having to be more of a focus here as Mora not able to get the basket, tries to tip it out, but it will ends up in one of the Tides' paws, and AMR almost in the ball, but gets fouled there on the way up by Maria. So AMR will go on the line for a couple of shots.
But see, the defense collapsed immediately on him. They had 2 players in that transition on him, and there was a player actually open on the arc because Maria had committed to double teaming against R. So I need, if I was Bangor's coach, I'd be calling a timeout soon and trying to reiterate to Ash to to AMR to be a little bit more focused on what's getting open because of how well he's performed tonight. As Davenport silences the crowd with a 3 in transition.
Yeah, and that was a prime example with Tashawn going into the paint, dishing it out to the open fur with that 3, and you are going to see that timeout here from the Tides as they're going to have to try and get things to get in control back on their side. We'll see what things are playing here as AVZ with the inbound.
I mean, obviously you're at home, so there's that. The crowd's going to be on your side, but you have to give them something to cheer for.
100%. And now
Quiet
Angel
right now.
getting double teamed here as AMR left wide open, but it's not going to be good there. Very rare opportunity there missed. for the Magpie as Maria trying to get hot beyond the arc, but this time it's no dice. And we see, ooh, Angel able to find a way to collect it. Shows how good that length is as she was defended by Maria. And Mora able to lay it up and in.
Halfway through this third quarter, and it feels like Lorraine had the better halftime adjustment based on how it's been going. Maybe AMR sitting down threw off his rhythm.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I mean, while resting is very important, if you don't there are some times where being able to rest up as well as he has, it could end up like affecting his streak if it goes on too long. As Tumbo goes for 3, and right now, Lorraine flirting with a double-digit lead potentially.
Yeah, and you're seeing, obviously Griga was the main scorer, but it feels like Lorraine has been getting the ball around just a bit better.
And now AMR, not again, another miss, but it has been recollected by the Tide, so AMR will get another chance, but again, no good. And it feels like there's a little bit of an over-reliance here on AMR in the second half, as other players need to start getting involved more to try and contain this. As right now, Tunbo dishes out to Mora for 3, but it's not going to be good this time.
That was very lucky. That would have been a huge play for if they had hit the 3. And ooh, Angel in the post can't get the basket against Mora there. The Beta Fish able to get the better of her on the defense.
Yep, but again, another empty possession here from Lorraine as Edwin misses it. So Tides are getting a lot of breaks here, but they need to take advantage of it on the other end as Anari going for 3, and it is good.
Yeah, they you saw there the defense again is they're keeping such an eye on where AMR is. That did leave Anari with a slight gap to exploit, but Tompo answering back immediately.
Anything you can do, I can do better, Tompo says. As again, another silencer as they find themselves up by 9 again. And right now, Kiyomi trying to do a little bit more damage, but this time it's gonna be empty. As Anika, who has been starting to get a little hot here in the second half, it said this is over to Grega, and Grega's not able to get it down. As right now the Tides picking up the pace a little bit here as Angel has it. Instead, a lot of dishing so far as AMR again with the rock.
I mean, Anari can get going from the 3, but they want to attack. Double teamed in the post. Angel doesn't care. Ooh. She's going to take it herself with the double team against her.
Great shot there. Cutting it down to 7. So far, so good. But of course, they need to continue getting these stops here and try to make a run on themselves as Tonpo, who has been a little hot here in the third quarter, looking to try and do a little bit of shake and bake, try to get into the paint, but will draw the foul. AVZ with the 4th personal. And it looks like he may be getting some time to... Oh, no, the Firestorm's the one that calls timeout here. So they're probably going to see if they can try and game plan around and get... Because they do see the momentum slipping a little bit here. While they do have a decent... They still have a decent score here. They don't want to lose it if they end up getting cold.
Yeah, I mean, Lorraine has a lead. The first real significant lead they've had tonight. I mean, they were playing behind for a bit there, pulled back from a double-digit deficit. Now they need to show up and actually keep this lead they've built. And with how explosive Bangor can be, just like that to Category.
Oh my God.
Exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah, and with some bench players coming in, that's going to be the big concern here. Is right now Tumbo able to go ahead and draw the foul against Lowenthal. So she will go on the line for 2. First one, going to be good. And the second one will go ahead and get the lucky bounce. So Right now, it seems like 9 is the sweet spot here for Lorraine, as Bangor trying to find any kind of inches to stay within it with a decent amount, as AMR, again, another miss.
He
And
has definitely
Lorraine
gone
able to go ahead
cold.
and take advantage.
He has definitely gone cold in this half comparatively to where he was in the first. I mean, you had to, the law of averages, you had to imagine he would come back at some point. Now, Bangor, what do? Who do you go to? You go to your veteran, not able to convert with a three.
Yeah, Oriana not able to get the 3 ball here, as now Lorraine looking to finally extend it to double digits. We'll see if that's the case, as Smith goes for 3, and it's good. So right now, the crowd dead silent here as the Tides find themselves down by 14. Biggest lead of the night.
I mean, do you blame them at all? As they're going to get a bit of arguing about that foul called on them on that shot attempt, but I agree, enough contact to warrant a call.
Yeah, right now, Kataguri will get the basketball gods to be on her side, so the Tides find themselves only down by 11. And right now, the paint has really been the Firestorm's best friend. As we see a quick lay in there for Lucas. And now we get it good over to Oriana, and Oriana is able to lay it in. The veteran.
Yeah, and I mean,
still got it.
That's the kind of play you need right now when you're struggling to, finish these shots. The perimeter game's starting to fall apart. Start attacking the just a bit more. Gonna open up the perimeter again. And great defensive effort. That is gotta clamp down. Like I said, we don't want to see Lorraine break 100 in this third quarter. Dish to Koa for 3 from the right corner is good.
And they needed that one. They really needed that 3 ball. And now this could be a potential swing here, as Lorraine trying to get something here, as Chaiwan going back into the other 3-point line. Not a lot of time here, as Chaiwan pass it over to Radley. Radley going for 3, and it's not going to be good. Great defense there for the Tides. And with that, at the end of 3, the Firestorm find themselves up by 8 to 99 to 91, but the Tides starting to find their rhythm again.
Yeah, but the momentum has definitely swung in Lorraine's favor, no doubt. The crowd needs to get going again here, and they need to see their team some kind of big play to get them excited, to get the energy going back in this stadium, because right now, down by 8, 12 minutes to go, and the dribble move to find a lane to the basket. Strong use of the ISO there. No defense able to come over to help.
Yeah, Naima, again, showing her stuff, being able to get into the paint and get the quick midi. So now they find themselves down by 6. And the Firestorm trying to flirt with that century mark. As Maria, almost loses the ball there. As Inari gets the steal. And Kevin, great dishing there into the paint, as King able to finish it off.
Well, Lorraine's been flirting with the century mark for a while at this point, and they just keep striking out at the bars. Hopefully they can finally cross that barrier shortly.
Well, not this time, as Oakley does get the board, and now it seems like the Tides have full momentum here, as Felicia able to dunk it down.
Yeah, I retract my statement about the momentum having gone into Lorraine's side. It is firmly in Bangor's hands now with how they've been playing.
And that's because they finally decided to utilize AMR a little bit less here, as we get the finger roll not going to go down this time. So with other players starting to chip on in, that could spell danger here for Lorraine. And quick steal there from Radley. Radley trying to go coast to coast, will get the finger roll to go down. So they finally break that century mark with a quick steal for a quick basket there. And Kevin on the other end does draw the foul against Lucas. And Lucas not too happy with that, as he's arguing with the ref there, but Kevin will go on the line for two. The first one, gonna be good. No, Bangor. Hoping to see if they can cut it down to only 2 points here. And that will be the case as the Bear able to get both down.
Yeah, I would debate calling a timeout if I was Lorraine. You've let Bangor 2 points you score in the last 2 minutes of this final quarter, and now you'll go to the line for two at the very least, but still.
Yep, and that'll be the first one on Naima with Bradley. Able to get the first one down. Now we're seeing a couple of substitution here as Tonpo does come in. Trying to get the offensive firepower to get back on Lorraine's side as Bradley will make the second. To the Firestorm. Up by 4, but the Bangor Tides has a lot to say about that. We'll see if they're going to continue on this offensive onslaught here at the start of the fourth. And that is going to be the case as Kevin Oakley wide open in the paint, laying it up and in. So far.
I'm keeping an eye on, Davenport. Defense gets completely lost thanks to the screen for the quick lay-in. I mean, that is at least an idea. You can keep attacking the paint, and you have to wonder when both teams are going to have all their starters back on the floor.
I mean, I would imagine any moment, right, as Anika trying to lay it up, but gets blocked there, but will draw, well, no, excuse me, not draw a foul, but it will stay on to the Firestorm's end. But again, another great defensive effort here for Bangor, but a lot of time here on the shot clock, so they have a chance to draw a plan up.
Well, and the reason why I phrase it like that is that both teams are playing very well at the moment. You want to gamble with keeping your best players well rested for that final push? Or do you bring them in early and try and get a quick surge as the screen for the three, no good from Bangor?
And Anika ended up losing the ball there as Cross picks it up. Fresh 24 here for the Tides.
That is devastating. He got the stop. They got lucky with that wide open three being a miss and immediately giving them a second opportunity.
Yep, and Oakley's going to be able to take advantage of that one, and he's leads it up and in. 11 points tonight. So very quiet, but very impactful in other ways, too.
Oh, defense side, 100%.
Naima gets called for the foul here as both her and Evan trying to stop that with the block, but we will see a foul drawn there for Radley with her third year in the FBA. Not making the first one, though. And we're starting to see a few more starters starting to come in here as Grega gets called in to try and finish things up here in the fourth.
Yeah, I'd imagine, like I said, the starters should be all in at this point. This game is too close, in my mind, to gamble with keeping your players fresh. There's a huge block.
Great block there. And that's something that I have to take a notice of is the free throw attempts have been very low this game between both sides, but especially here for the Tides, not being able to find ways to draw fouls. But they are still able to go ahead and get things going as they get a quick rebound there from Angel. And the Tides looking to try and get this back to a single possession as AVZ hitting the three.
Ash from the right corner, wide open. With AMR now being cold, they have to find someone else on the perimeter to get things done there. You saw it. And, speaking of going to the line and one opportunity, thanks to Inari getting called for the contact on the drive.
Yep, Anika going over to try and get that old school three-point play. And as you're saying, some starters are starting to show up as Trishan finding themselves back on the floor as well. So we're seeing Lorraine slowly bringing a lot of their starting lineup back into the fray as we do get that free throw coming in. They have one opportunity. And so, AMR headed over to Kevin. Kevin trying to go into the paint, going up against Edwin. Oakley has to dish it out though. Kiyomi doesn't have a lot of time left on the shot clock. This is the AMR for three, and again, it's another miss. AMR has not really scored for a lot of the second half as Mora lays it up and in.
Yeah, and in my mind, that was just, okay, we didn't have a plan that worked out. Let's just give it to AMR. And it's not fair to AMR to put them in a bad situation and expect them to bail you out.
Yeah, but AMR will go ahead and lay it up and in. Trying to, in those type of baskets, you're probably going to need if you want to get back to your scoring ways. As Anika trying to hit the three, but it's not going to be good. So it does look like both teams starting to cool off just a little bit here as Angel able to get the and one opportunity.
I mean, definitely very important shot to hit there. Halfway through this final quarter, it is now a single possession game. We are dangerously close in either side could pull ahead at the last minute. We might even see ourselves with an overtime game here, way things have been shaking out.
And you know how I feel about those overtime games.
Yes, so. I know. You're still mad that you missed the one that I hosted solo. It's okay.
Yeah. You know, it's okay. It happens. And that's how crazy these games go. You never know when an overtime game starts popping up out of nowhere. But right now, we're seeing AMR trying to lay it up again, no good. And my concern comes back again of being over-reliant on him as Edwin able to go ahead and lay it up and in. It's been a minute since we last called out his name after the hot start that he had at the beginning of the game. So we'll see if Bangor have an answer to try and get it back to a single possession. Kevin is over to ABZ. Ash does find Oakley into the paint and will lay it up and in. And so far, that matchup between Edwin and Kevin has been very interesting so far, as both of them going tit for tat, as Edwin answering right back.
I mean, now the name of the game for Lorraine, no empty possession. Do not let Bangor close this gap. Make them take the shots from the point line. Make them take the hard shots. Ooh, a foul. We'll send the line to the 2 for the charity stripe.
Yeah, and that's something that Kevin has really need to utilize as we get late into the game to try and rely on drawing the foul, but the first one's not going to be good this time. And those points are going to be very important. They haven't been able to get on the line that much this game, so these free throws are going to be more and more important, as Kevin is going to make the second. So 1 out of 2 for the Tides, and they do find themselves only down by 3. So if they get a stop here, the only way they can tie this up is a 3. But we'll see if Lorraine has something to say about it, as Davenport will get the 3 of her own to blow this lead wide open for 6 points, as we're under 4 minutes left of regulation.
Yeah, I'm not calling it a dagger. It's not over yet, but that puts a lot of pressure, I feel, on Albany right now. Or wrong division team. Puts a lot of pressure on Bangor. Obviously heading to the line for 2 now at the charity stripe. Will need to hit both of these, honestly. Can't walk away with any missed opportunity.
Yeah, and honestly, AMR is the best player for them. AMR has done pretty well on the charity stripe, but we'll see if both gets made here. That will be the case. So Bangor only down by 4, but again, the clock becoming more and more of their enemy as time goes down. As Tunpo going for 3, and this is gonna be dangerous. Another massive three. The Firestorm getting hot beyond the arc at the right time, and that could spell danger here for Bangor if they want to win this game.
AMR gonna drive into the paint with that shot. 40 points, but you see the field goal percentage fell apart in that second half. But,
Yeah.
I mean, if he's going to get hot again, this is the time to get hot.
Yeah, the efficiency has gone down quite a bit here for AMR, but if he does get hot, just like Tompo is, Tompo, another three. Oh, okay, now we're going to have to look at possibly potentially trying to focus on Anika for the Tides.
I mean, I hate to say it, it very well might be over after that. That's a 8-point game, 2.5 minutes left to go. Ooh, and almost, if that had been stolen, I would have called it. Anari, the huge three.
A much-needed three there. Down by 5. They still have a shot. They need to get a stop here, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, that ball almost stolen. And Griga, he could have put the end of it in there with that shot, but missed. Tompo's been so hot, though. You're right. They have to crash on her.
They do, and right now, Kiyomi pass it over to AMR. AMR trying to lay it up, and it will go down.
Now, if you're Lorraine, you can't afford to take your foot off the gas. Yes, you do want to burn some time, but you need a play drawn up for a bucket. They're going to let her take it themselves. Laying it up and in. Tompo has the hot paw at the right moment.
Yeah, Tompo is going to be a massive, massive issue here for Bangor, as AMR does draw the foul against Maria, so he will go on the line for 2. And right now, these free throws are going to be very important here, as AMR will make with the first one.
Yeah, I mean, do you miss on purpose and try and get the rebound? No. Okay, I was going to say, you're still down by 3. There is technically time. A stop here is a must.
We have seen crazier things happen before, and again, Tompo laying it up and in. That is going to be a big problem. They need to find a way to get her to calm down, as AMR laying it up, and it's in. It seems like it's going to be AMR versus Anika Tompo within this last minute, as both of them have been on fire.
Yeah, who's going to blink first? And it is neither of them.
Yeah, so far, Tompo again with another lay-in. And right now, AMR looking to try and answer back. We'll get that open shot, and it's good.
Did we enter a game of horse suddenly? I really feel like I've walked onto a park, 2 players playing horse, because if either of them miss, it gives them an opening. And Mora, finally, they're dishing it to someone else. And yes, Tides have to call timeout. Under 43 seconds left in this game, down by 5. This has to be a basket. I would almost, I know I say don't go through, the stats probably say don't go for a 3 here. I feel like you gotta go for a 3 here, though.
I mean, it's really a huge momentum shift, as right now, Anika starting to get hot here, and
she's on fire.
Oh yeah, she's literally boiling at this moment. But right now, ABZ looking for 3.
Okay.
It's going to be able to get the lucky bounce.
They went with a 3, and they went with someone other than AMR, and I think that was the right call in the moment. Now, can they stop? They have to stop. Any points here is game for 3.
Oh, no.
No good.
No good. Oh, the prayers have been answered there, as right now, ABZ trying to get into the paint. Will get by Tompo to lay it in, and we're tied.
Now, here's the problem. They left way too much time. Lorraine will have all the time in the world with this timeout to draw up the play, either take the final shot, and push us either to overtime or a victory.
Yeah, this is going to be a big, big, big possession. This could be the deciding factor of whether or not we go to OT or possibly have someone escaping with a win here. Can Lorraine do it?
I mean, Lorraine, if I'm them, I'd leave less than 2 seconds on the shot. But no, Tompo, she wants to force it. It gets blocked. Now it's Bangor. Bangor, call timeout. Don't try and speed this up. You have time.
Oh
Call
no, they're
timeout.
gonna try and finish this off right here. AMR will get it down with the
Still
mid-ranger. The
okay,
icing on the cake, possibly.
but Marcus, they still left too much time. They had a timeout. They could have called time. I get it. They might have just won the game with that. However, strategy wise, you had the opportunity to call time and drop a play specifically to have 0 seconds on the clock. They still could lose this with a heartbreaking three from Lorraine. We could still go to overtime with
It's
a
there's a
two.
lot of options. There's a lot of options here, but it looks like they're going to rely on their defense to finish this up. We'll see what they draw up here for Lorraine. Looking for somebody. Tompo has it. He sees the hot paw. She goes for the mid-ranger. It's no good. The Tides able to escape with the win.
Escape is the word I would use. They obviously earned the game victory tonight. There is no doubt about it. They played very well. And there you go. AMR hitting 50 at the end, needed to carry this team over the line. And have to wonder in the playoffs, can they afford to have that kind of showing? Because they're going to get shut down.
Yeah, I think that if anybody who is going up against the Tides, the number one thing is what do we have to do to slow down AMR? And it had, and granted, Lorraine did a very good job throughout the game, throughout the second half of containing them. It's just that when it comes to clutch time, AMR really showing what he could do to kind of take this away. But you got to give credit where credit is due, man. Lorraine is showing why they are not to be messed with in the playoffs.
Well, and keep in mind, we did not see Xavier Clark. And I no shade to oh, the starting rotation, but Xavier Clark is the better center on this team, and this team may have had a victory tonight had they chosen to play him. But same time, I understand not wanting to risk injuries, not wanting to completely throw off that chemistry that they've built. They're trying to incorporate them into the still, and they're trying to back them for a playoff. Nothing would be worse than trading for a big center and having them go out a month later due to injury.
Yeah, no, that's like one of the worst cases for that to be, and you don't want to like. Obviously, we're at the end of the season. A lot of players are going to be tired. A lot of players are going to be, at the brink. But as we get into the quarters, you can tell that a lot of things have really went um their way as the Tides finding themselves with 45 points in the final quarter to try and finish this home. And whew, what a game.
Yeah, I mean, field goal percentage was still absolutely insane. Even the 3-point for both teams, shooting almost 50% between, and then obviously nearly 60%. The points off turnovers, that is, I think, the main thing. There were so few turnovers tonight, only 2 steals from either team. That just is not what I expected here. I expected a defensive slug match. I did not expect a shootout between these. Remember, both teams usually prevent their opponents from scoring more than 120 on an average night. Both of them flew past that against each other.
Yeah, and I think it really kind of goes to show that like both of these teams may know each other very well and they might see each other again in the playoffs depending on how things are lined up. As this is the final SportsDen here in the regular season. You won't be seeing us again for quite a bit until it's time for the finals. But overall, what a great performance for these two teams. And I'm very excited to see how things go as we start winding down the regular season.
Yes, it's just the last few spots looking to be hashed out here. The final seating. We'll have a post about the. Sure, there'll be an article talking about our opinions on what the matchups will be through the first round and who our projected upsets are. I can definitely see Lorraine. Uh, they're if they lose out in the division, they're going to be a very dangerous first round opponent. Bangor, though,
Oh,
showing that they are, even if they're second in their division, they might be the worst team to be faced against. They made the champion. They won their championship when they did not win the division. They were a lower seed. They are dangerous no matter what. So even if they finish sixth or seventh, they are a contender nonetheless.
100%. And it really has to go to show how the Eastern Conference, there are going to be some teams that you don't expect to really be on the bottom half of the seedings that may end up being a team to kind of be afraid to go up against, even with the home court advantage. And compared to things going over out on the west side, I imagine it's going to be a bloodbath, I think.
No doubt. I mean, Arizona looking like they might have their first uh, conference championship in terms of like their performance in the regular season. I don't think
Hmm.
they've ever finished in the top two, let alone winning it all. So we'll have, it's the new kids on the block in the West. I feel like, whereas the East, uh, arguably, it's been somewhat stagnant at the top. Plymouth, Tallahassee, and I mean, you say Bangor gets thrown in there, even though they
Yeah.
often end up kind of as a mid seed. Just I think in part due to being in the same division as Plymouth hurts their overall record just slightly.
I mean, at the end of the day, all it matters is getting hot at the right time, and if this game is any indication, they're getting hot at the right time. So, but in any case, it's been a blast, and I'm very excited to see what happens next.
Oh, no doubt. Thank you all for tuning in. I've been Ryan Eastman. Marcus Bailey was joining me in the booth, and we hope we see you again in the finals.
See ya.